G'day and welcome to Life That Travels. My name is Rob Malicki and today's video live session is a really special one. This is on how to deal with family pressure when you're trying to choose a university and choose a degree. We've got lots of awesome information that we're going to dive into and it all starts right now. Hey, thanks so much for joining me. Such an important topic. We're talking about how to deal with family pressure when you're trying to make one of the biggest decisions in your entire life, to date that is, choosing a university, what degree you're going to study. And in this video, we're going to talk about how you can choose the university and the degree program that is right for you. And importantly, how you can deal with that pressure that comes from other people who aren't you. By the end of this video, you're going to have a really great idea about some practical things you can do that are going to stand you in good stead. I've been working in higher education for about 20 years, and I've literally helped thousands, tens of thousands of students have incredible experiences that have helped shape their future directions. So it's something I've had a lot to do with. And you know what, I think the most important thing to realize when we're talking about choosing a uni degree or university in general is to realize this kind of fundamental fact that you got one life. Bad news, good news, you've only got one of them, and it doesn't really matter what you do as part of your time here on Earth. Like, you're not going to change the universe, all right? So start off by taking the freaking pressure off yourself and realizing that it doesn't really matter what you do. Long after you are gone, the universe is just going to keep on swirling in infinity and going to keep on keeping on. So there's no pressure on you with this one decision to feel like the decision you make now is going to shift the future of humanity. I would love to think that it is, but the reality is that it's probably not, because even the most famous people in history haven't actually changed the direction of the entire universe, right? So take the pressure off yourself. We've got this one chance to live our lives and to live it the best that we possibly can. We're all going to make mistakes. Hopefully we're all going to have highs, we're going to have lows that we're going to learn from, but we're here to just try to make the most of this one opportunity that we have. And that said, like, your time is your most valuable asset. So we want to try to make sure that we make the most of our time here. Let's talk about then choosing a university, because look, there's a chance that you actually make the wrong choice, all right? I've met more than enough people who have made the wrong choice of whatever degree they went into, whichever university they picked. And you know what? That's okay, as long as you learn something from that experience. As an example, I did a Bachelor of Science as my undergraduate degree, Macquarie University, and I didn't really know what I wanted to do after high school. And I was kind of interested in the environment. I liked the outdoors. My brother was going into an environmental sciences degree. And I just kind of thought, oh, well, I don't really know what else is out there, so why not just start with a science degree? And you know what? One of the best decisions ever, because if you are not exactly sure what you want to do with your life, what you want to study at university, guys, like, you got to work that out. You got to take the time to explore lots of different subjects, to try lots of different things in order to work out what it is that actually drives you. What's your passion, right? And, some people go their whole life and never really find that thing because they didn't take the time right up front to explore all of those different options that this amazing world throws up to us. So take the time. Life is super long. You've got one of them. You want to live it well, okay? So take the time to try to work out what it is that ticks your box. Okay, so what happens if you're not sure? And you don't know that you've always wanted to be a lawyer or a doctor or a teacher or any of those things? What should you do? Start off with a general degree. Go in, take an arts degree, a science degree, and take as many different subjects as you possibly can. Because it's when you take those different subjects and you get to taste test all these different areas that you can start to really experience the diversity that university has to offer. And honestly, that's one of the key reasons you go to university, is because you have so many different options available to you. So course, if you're not 100% sure on what you want to do something general. And as you find things that you're interested in, do more of it. As you find things that you're not interested in, do less of it. Okay? And at the end of the day, you'll end up narrowing down the things that you really want to be involved in. And you know what? That might take you more than a standard 3-year degree. Maybe it takes 4 years. Maybe it takes 5 years. But let's face it, what's better? At the start of your life, when you've got all this, like more time, more flexibility, you've got this opportunity to explore and find out the things that really drive you up front. And then for the next 50 years, you can enjoy that. Or you don't do that, you rush through some degree that you're not sure about, go into an industry or industries that you're not really keen on, and then maybe like 40 years later, you end up discovering what it is that you're actually passionate about. Don't you think that's a wasted opportunity? You have this one life. Like, take the time to try to find what things make you tick and what things you really care about. If you don't want to go to university to start with, you can actually start this whole process without even stepping into a class. Get online and search for MOOC, a MOOC. These are mass open online courses, and some of the best universities in the world offer mass open online courses that you can take. So you can taste test without stepping into a university. Psychology, engineering, mathematics, sciences, health studies, like you name it. There's a MOOC, a mass open online course out there that you can taste test. And that is absolutely a fantastic, legitimate, cheap way for you to try to find out what it is that you're actually interested in. Once you're actually at university, if you're not sure about what you want to do, you also want to get involved in many other things. And in fact, I would say for anybody who is at university, your degree is such a small part of the picture these days. In Australia, 25% of university graduates are unemployed 3 to 4 months after they finish their degree. 25%, right? What is it that's going to make you stand out from the thousands of other people who are graduating with the same degree as you? Okay? It's not the degree that's going to get you your ideal job. It may get you a job. It's not going to get you the ideal job in the company that you're desperate to get into. What is going to get you that ideal job are the other things that you have on your resume. So when you're trying to choose a university and you're trying to choose a degree program, you want to look at the other options that are available on campus. What are the things I'm talking about? Firstly, are there great clubs and societies? So if you've got an interest or a passion, is there a great club or society on campus that will help you develop that aptitude? If you don't know what you want to do, are there lots of clubs and societies on campus that you can choose from so you can figure that stuff out? Are there leadership programs? Most universities have great leadership programs, career development skills programs. Have a look at that because you get lots of really great tips and resources to help you build out your resume. Does your university offer fantastic work integrated learning, internships, practical working experience? That stuff employers absolutely love. There was research done quite a while ago now, 2006, that found that 72% of employers think that an internship on a resume is a unique competitive advantage. So get an internship, get work integrated learning on your resume. What else? Overseas study. I'm so passionate about overseas study because it's one of the few things that allows you to get out of your comfort zone, to discover the world, and to get the soft skills that you need. So employers love things like flexibility and adaptability and cultural competence and second language skills and team building and problem solving. Guess what the research shows? International study experiences like semester exchange, short programs, these types of experiences give you those skills. So make sure you choose a university that has those on offer. Okay, so we've talked about like how to maybe like choose degree areas, subject areas that you might be interested. We've also talked about the extracurricular areas that you might think about being involved in. What about cities? Because if you're choosing a university, you've got a choice of which city to go and study in. In Australia, traditionally, we've basically stayed close to home. You stay at home and you go to the nearest university. A lot of people move from the country into town. It's not that common for people to change cities, say from Sydney to Perth, to go to university. Why not? Okay, money is definitely an issue, don't get me wrong, but why not if the perfect experience is there for you? So have a look at the cities that you might be interested in studying in. Does that city offer things that might help you in the areas in which you have interest? So I love the outdoors. For me, being out in the bush is really important. And so a university like the University of Newcastle, which is amongst the trees, or Griffith up in Brisbane, Federation Uni down in Ballarat outside Melbourne. These are all amazing bushland campuses. If that is my absolute core driving value, that I want to be living amongst the trees, make sure you choose a city and a university that's actually going to deliver that for you. Woo, how are we going there? If you've got any comments, please hit me up in the comments. Such an important topic. If you're having difficulty choosing a university, please hit me up. Please subscribe and hit the like button, ring the bell. I'm here for you guys, so whatever I can do to help, make sure you send me a message. All right, key question. So we're about to transition from how to choose a uni and a degree into how to deal with the family pressure. And this comes down to like reputation versus relevance. A lot of parents are really hung up on reputation. And this is partly a generational thing. And it's also partly a cultural thing. For many cultures, like the reputation of the institution is one of the key elements that parents are worried about. So if they think that that's the only thing that's really going to get you a job. So reputation, is it important? Yeah, it is important, of course, but it depends what you want to get into. So for example, if you're just doing a straight up business degree, you're going to graduate with a business degree, and it's you versus 10,000 other graduates from around the country with a business degree. The fact that you studied at the University of Melbourne, which is the top, one of the top business schools in the country, is going to be an advantage for you. Some of those elite universities, University of Sydney, University of Melbourne in particular, but even a small institution, private institution like Bond, very strong alumni connections. People feel like they've been a part of that kind of organisation. And so if they see that on a resume, are they more likely to pay attention to you? Yeah, for sure. But the same is equally true if you went to Macquarie University. I went to Macquarie, and anytime I see Macquarie on a resume, I definitely have a look at that and I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. This person has something in common with me. Okay, so it doesn't matter if you went to the most prestigious institution, because employers, if they went to a different uni, if they went to Fed Uni and you went to Fed Uni, even though it's like not the most prestigious university in the country, it doesn't matter because you've got a point of similarity and that's going to at least capture their attention. So reputation, is it important? Yeah, it can be important if you're doing like something really generic. But what about relevance, right? Let's say you are really interested in design, okay? And you want to go to an excellent design school that has really strong industry linkages because you have a passion for it and you know that that's the area you want to be in. And this particular university has great connections with particular firms, companies in the city in question, and that is the area that you want to go into. Is relevance more important than reputation in this case? Yes. The answer is yes. No question. You have one life. If you're lucky enough to have worked out what that thing is for you, the relevance of the institution, what you'll learn there, who you'll interact with, the opportunities that you'll have that will lead you down the path that you want to head is way more important than the reputation of the institution. And remember, when it comes to doing a degree and getting a job and having a career, your degree is really only the first step in that journey. The degree will open the first door that you walk through. Is it going to open every single door behind that? I love universities in Australia, but we ain't Harvard. We ain't MIT. We're not Caltech, right? It doesn't matter which Australian university you go to. The doors will open when you go for the first job interview, maybe. Beyond that, do people really care? As a point of interest, maybe. But in terms of that being the thing that decides whether or not you get a job, no. Relevance is far more important. The other things that you have on your resume are far, far more important. So always look for opportunities that are relevant to what you want to do. Because you have this one life, right? This one, lap around the universe where it doesn't matter what you do, you're not going to shift the axis of the universe. You want to make the most of the experience. So chase the things that you are passionate about, okay? So if you're going to be talking with family about your choice of institution, and, particularly in some, cultural backgrounds, the university is really important, the reputation of the institution. Your first argument is reputation versus relevance, okay? Make sure that if you go into that conversation, you're armed with all of the details about why the uni you really want to go to, the degree program you really want to get into, is more relevant to your future than the institution with the reputation, all right? Something I'd love to say, guys, like, your parents, they only want to do the right thing by you. They only want to think about what's going to help you the most. But your friends, your family, society as a whole will always have its own perspective. Just like I've got my views. You shouldn't necessarily listen to me. Like maybe I'm completely biased in some way, right? You always have to think about what's their point of bias. Like were your parents, really hard off when they were growing up? Did they have a really tough time? They didn't have much money. And as a result, all they want for their kids is to have financial security. Or maybe they didn't get to do a lot of education. So all they want for their kids is to have the best possible education. Think about the people you're talking with, whether it's your parents, your family, your friends. Think about the things that may be behind the hood for them. Because if it's, for example, education, right? Like they want you to have the best possible education, the most reputable education possible. Think about that and how you might look at the institution you're going to, you want to go to, the most relevant institution, and say, look, actually, the education here for the particular area that I want to study is better than the more reputable institution, okay? You've got to be aware of the biases that people have when they have these conversations. Your parents only want the best for you, okay? But that said, it's not their life, okay? And there's a great book, I've got it here on the shelf somewhere. It's called The 5 Regrets of the Dying, okay? It's written by a palliative care nurse, and she captured the 5 main regrets that people have when they get to their life. And one of the key main regrets, that people didn't follow their own path, that they listened too much to others, whether it was their family or their friends. They listened too much to others rather than listening to their heart. Don't do that. You get this one chance. At some point, that conversation with your parents, with your family members, with your friends, it has to happen. Either you have that conversation now and you sit down and you're like, right, mum, dad, let's talk. We're adults. I'm going to talk to you about this decision. I want to tell you about why this institution, this degree is so much more relevant to my future and is going to take me so much further than just that reputational institution over here, okay? Have that conversation up front, okay? Because what happens otherwise? What happens otherwise? You listen to your parents, you really don't want to do what they're suggesting, but you follow their advice, and everything falls apart later because you resent the fact that they pushed you and you didn't listen to your heart, okay? That's worse. Because not only do you have that hard conversation, you still have to have at some point. Thanks, mum and dad, you were wrong. And you've burned up a whole lot of your most precious, your most irreplaceable resource, your time. Okay? Have that hard conversation now. Don't try and dodge it. Have it now. This could all go wrong. You could be completely wrong, okay? You could decide that family, mum, dad, grandparents, they're telling me I have to go over to this reputational university and that's going to get me so much further in my future career, and you choose this one over here. You could be wrong. As equally as choosing the reputable one could be wrong. You know what? You don't get 2 laps around the sun. Okay? You don't get 2 laps around the universe. You will never know. Never, ever, ever. Let me say that again. You will never know. You will never, ever, ever know if the choice you made was the best one. So what does that mean? It means you should try to make the most relevant choice that you possibly can right now. And if it's wrong, once you realize that it's wrong, do something about it, right? The world is full of examples, thousands, millions of examples of people who in their heart, they know what the truth is and they push it down and they don't listen to themselves, okay? Because, why? Ego? I don't know. Like, you made a mistake, you don't want to admit to yourself or to your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, family that you made a mistake. You can't be humble, and so you keep following a path that is not right for you. Be humble, okay? Understand that you cannot see the future. It's true. Bad news. You can't see the future. Even if you think something is a certainty, right? Even if you think that going to the most reputational university in the entire world is a certainty to give you a kick-ass career and launch you into the stratosphere, sorry, it don't work like that. You cannot see the future. You don't know if tomorrow you're going to get sick, if you're going to get a terrible workmate who stabs you in the back. You don't know how these things are going to unfold. So take the pressure off yourself, thinking like you're supposed to see what the future holds. You can't. You don't. So don't try. All you can do is look at the evidence in front of you in your life right now and make the best decision that you can. If you've seen Frozen 2, you know that there's the scene in Frozen 2 with Anna as she's in the cave and she knows that Elsa has been frozen again. And she says, and just take the next right step. Take the next right step, all right? Do whatever is the right thing to do next. It doesn't matter what happened in the past, you can't change it. Forgive yourself for the mistakes you've made, learn from them, and take the next right freaking step. Okay? That's all I got for you. Let's talk about it through, okay? Choose a university that is right for you. How do you know if it's right for you? Is it an area that you're interested in? You don't have to be passionate about it. Maybe you don't know what you're passionate about. So choose something you're interested in. If you don't know what you are interested in, try a lot of different stuff, okay? Go and study overseas. Get out of your comfort zone. Go backpacking. I don't know. Do online courses. Read books. Do a general degree at any freaking university you like and do every different possible course that you can. Get involved in clubs and societies. If you manage to figure out what you're interested in, keep following it. There's jobs in every different possible area, right? People fly hot air balloons and people do unbelievable things scuba diving into the ocean, leading people. This is reality. There is an awesome job for absolutely everybody, as long as you follow what you're interested in. Beyond that, as you follow that path, get more stuff on your resume. Get out there and do internships, join clubs and societies, go and meet people, work integrated learning, leadership programs, career development. These are all opportunities that universities offer in a grade. And when it comes to talking to your parents, do what's right. Have the conversation now and explain why the institution you're most interested in is the most relevant and offers the best educational possibilities for you, not for the masses, for you, than the more reputable institution. Maybe the most reputable one is what you want, but the most relevant one, if you know what you're interested in, is always going to be the winner in the long game. You get one chance to do this, do it right. Remember, you are going to make mistakes. That's okay. Forgive yourself for your mistakes, be humble, and if you do stuff it up, you go to a university and it doesn't work out as planned, you can always turn around to your parents and say, hey, you know what? I actually got that completely wrong. You were right. I'm sorry, you were right, and I should have listened to you. Are your parents going to love you anyway? I hope so. They should, because that's what parents are for. They're not there to live your life. They can't live your life for you. They're there just to support you, right? And they only want the best for you. I'm Rob Malicki. Thanks for joining me on A Life That Travels. If this has been helpful to you, please share the channel with a friend. And any questions, always hit me up in the comments below. I'll see you next time. Thanks for joining me. Okay guys, I'm back. So for those of you who joined live, really appreciate you jumping in. I can see Agast Paul Vlog and Nike. Just do it. Thanks for joining me guys. A couple of questions here, so let's dive in and answer those for you, shall I? How's the scope of the Bachelor of Psychology in Australia? Honestly, I think Australia does psychology pretty well. We have a very good national accrediting body. And as a result, the psychology degrees here are really robust. If you're interested in psychology, you'll be aware that there's sort of two fundamental different approaches to psychology. There's like the European approach and then the American approach. And Australia is interesting because it actually adopts a lot of the different methodology from both. So I think psychology is a really fantastic degree here. And there are tons of good universities. So if you're not sure exactly what element of psychology you want to study, I would have a look at what the different universities offer and think about things like, what city do you want to study in? You know, do you want to be in Melbourne, in Sydney, in Adelaide? Do you like a smaller city, a bigger city? Do you need to work? In which case, getting a casual job is probably easier in a big city rather than a small regional town, you know? What other opportunities are available at that institution, okay? So, great choice for a degree. And honestly, psychology is such a useful degree that can take you in so many different directions. You know, lots of businesses need psychologists, even if it's not in an area where you traditionally think. So, like, people think, oh, I've got to be a clinician and do counselling or look after students. No. Human resources, marketing. I'm fascinated in psychology now. Just for marketing, just understanding consumer behaviour is so interesting. And I can tell you what, your ability to analyse as a psychologist, body language, use of words, and things like that is really valuable to just about any business. So I love psychology as I agree, and I think it's a really good one. Nike, hey Rob, I'm going into first year and I want to be a new Colombo Plan scholar. Awesome. Let me say that over here. Awesome. What should I be doing to maximise my chances to get the scholarship and get nominated by UNSW? Such a great question. Let me just start off by talking a little bit about what the new Colombo Plan is. It's for Australian students, and there are two parts to it. Either there's the mobility grant. The mobility grants, there's like 10,000 of them, right? Overseas study opportunities offered by your university with Australian government funding. The funding ranges from $3,000 to $7,000. It's awesome. Helps you to have an international study experience in a targeted experience. So if you're in a business faculty, there might be a study tour that is New Colombo Plan funded, and you get like $3,000, a lot of money, to go and do this study tour. So definitely a great opportunity. But what Nike's talking about is the scholarship, okay? The scholarship is Australia's top scholarship for university students, the New Colombo Plan scholarship. In order to win a scholarship, you need to be nominated by your university, and then you need to be selected by the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade, and then you need to clear the interview process. I helped co-design the New Colombo Plan. I've been on the reference group, I've been on the interview panels, and I have a whole training program for people who are nominated by their universities to help them prepare their applications and prepare for the interviews. So hopefully Nike, downstream, we get to interact via that online course that I've set up. But what can you do to maximise your chance of getting the New Colombo Plan scholarship? As you've correctly identified, the first step in the scholarship is for you to be nominated by UNSW in this case. So what are they going to be interested to see on your resume that's going to help you stand out above all of the other candidates? I'd recommend a couple of different things. Okay, firstly, go and see the international mobility team. The person you want to go and talk to, her name is Michelle Cofford, Kofod. She's at UNSW Global. Extremely busy, so be patient with her. She's also an amazing, wonderful human being, and ask her. Tell her, like, I'm super keen to be to win that scholarship. What do I need to get on my resume in order to even have a chance of a nomination? You're going to need to have some things there, like you're going to need to have some great grades. That's all on you. But outside of that, other things that would probably help you very much will be extracurricular opportunities. The New Colombo Plan looks at academic skills. They look at your resilience. It looks at your leadership and community engagement. So if you're not currently involved in any community organisations, you haven't done any volunteering, you've got to go do that. And volunteering is really broad, right? Yeah, it could be down, at the soup kitchen serving soup to the homeless, as equally as it could be working on wildlife rescue. So depending on what you are interested in, do some volunteering that is relevant to your subject area. Leadership skills. How can you demonstrate leadership skills? Can you be involved in clubs and societies where you are you nominate for an official role and you become the president of a club or society? Can you be involved in extracurricular organisations like Rotary in order to add that sort of experience to your resume? There are literally tons and tons and tons of different opportunities. I'm passionate about New Colombo Plan, so if you want to hit me up on Instagram, Nike. My handle is A Life That Travels, go figure. And I'm more than happy to give you some advice about that because I'm absolutely passionate about it. Proud Australian. Hey man, thank you for joining. Do you recommend studying a Bachelor of Arts? I don't recommend any particular degree unless I kind of know a little bit more about who you are and what you want to do. But to me, a Bachelor of Arts is a fantastic degree to start with if you're not 100% sure what you want to do, like, downstream. So arts allows you to study basically anything, right? Humanities, some arts degrees allow you to take science subjects. There's lots of diversity there. So if there's a particular element of the arts that you wanted to pursue, fantastic degree. Like you want to do history, yeah, fantastic to do a Bachelor of Arts. If you're not sure what you want to do, I also think a Bachelor of Arts is an amazing place to start because you can take a history course and take an anthropology course and take a biology course and take a psychology course, and you can do all these different things. And from that, you can work out what you're most interested in. The thing to remember about a Bachelor of Arts is that it is just a general degree, and there are literally tens of thousands of graduates every year around Australia who are graduating with arts degrees. If you haven't yet worked out what it is you're really into, that's the best thing an arts degree will give you, the opportunity to try lots of things. And once you find things you're interested in, you got to get a lot more on your resume. That's where things like studying overseas, doing internships, volunteering, leadership programs, career development programs, go to the careers office and ask them what programs they have for you. Volunteer anywhere, the library, at the international office, for a club. All of these things, you got to have those experiences on your resume if you're doing I think any degree, honestly, but particularly with like a general degree. And the more relevant those extracurricular activities are to what you're interested in, the more likely it is it's going to open some doors for you downstream. Cool. All right, that looks like it in terms of questions. If you are watching this on the replay, thank you. And if you have questions, hit me up in the comments. If you found this useful and you would like me to do it again, also hit me up in the comments and I will look to see if I can't do another live Q&A at some point. Otherwise, guys, it's been rad chatting and I hope you have an absolutely awesome weekend wherever you are. Be safe out there. Have a good time.